Ruby on Rails installation. So here we're gonna talk about Ruby on Rails installation and the development tools that you can use. Let's start with the Ruby and Rails installation. We are going to use what is called the Rails installer package that is provided by a company called the Engineered. And in fact, this is the easiest way to install Ruby on Rails because they actually have everything in this package. Basically, you're going to just install it and you're all set to go. The package is available for Windows and Mac. So if you are using Linux, then you have to actually do a few more steps. So let's do exercise 1. So exercise 1 is download and install Rails installer. Okay, so for those of you who have not taken JPassion.com course before, so this is the way you are going to download the hands-on lab. So you are going to click labs, and basically it's a zip file, and you save into a place of your choice in your file system. So I have done that already. So I have all the zip files loaded in this labs directory. So I'm going to unzip this zip file. So I am going to unzip it. You can unzip in any using any utility of your choice. So I'm going to just use jar command from JDK, and it contains index.html file. So you are going to read the lab documentation from the index.html file. So I'm going to open that file. So I'm going to go to labs directory and Ruby installation and index.html file. So this is the lab documentation. Okay, so what we are going to do is exercise 1. So in this exercise 1, we are going to download and install Rails installer. Okay, so let's do the downloading first. So if you go to this website, railsinstaller.org, or you can just Google Rails installer, then it lets you know where to go. Okay, so if you click this website, you can see it provides Windows download and Mac download. Okay, so I'm using Windows for now, so I am going to click this Windows, and you just download any place of your choice. Okay, so since I have downloaded already, so I'm gonna just run that downloaded application, download, and the Rails installer. So that's where I have already downloaded. The latest version is 3.1.0 exe file. So I am going to install it. Okay, just click next and accept the licensing terms. And the default directory is going to be Rails installer for Windows. So you just choose the default values and click install, and it's going to install everything for you. In fact, it installed the Ruby, it installed Rails, and it installed a bunch of other things, including database. Okay, so let's let it go, and let me just show you the things that I want you to do as well. So once you have installation, so I captured all the screen here, so there's nothing nothing really difficult about this. And at the end, you are going to see, in fact, some command line is popping up like this, and that's fine. And if you are using Linux platform, then you have to actually install it with apt-get install. And let's see. So once it has been installed, then you can check whether Ruby has been installed correctly or not by using Ruby -v. So it's going to give you a version number, and the Ruby -h it will give you help commands, help information. So that's basically exercise 1. Okay, so let me see whether my installation is done. So it looks like it's still downloading. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So I am going to give you guys about 5 to 10 minutes because this is the first time you are installing Ruby on Rails. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes for this installation, and check whether Ruby has been installed or not by just executing Ruby -v and Ruby -h command. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about development tools. So most Rails developer are in fact using editor, and they use command line Rails tools that come with Rails package. The editor of the choice is either Sublime Text, which runs on all three platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux in the same way. And if you're using Mac, TextMate is the choice of editor you can use. In fact, Sublime Text sort of the the same features. It has the same features of TextMate. So we are going to actually use a Sublime Text in this code camp. As for IDE, RubyMine is probably the only IDE that has some prominence in this space. It is from the JetBrains. Okay, so exercise 2, we are going to download and install and configure Sublime Text. By the way, Sublime Text is the commercial version. I think it's about $49 or $50 or something, but you should be able to download the package, and you still should be able to use it. Every time you are running it, it might actually pop up the message that you are using non-licensed version or something like that. But as long as you can put up with it, I think it's worth it to use the Sublime Text. Or if you want to use any other editor of your choice, that's perfectly fine as well. Okay, so let's go to the lab. Exercise 2 is downloading Sublime Text. Let's move on here. So you go to sublimetext.com.2. The current version is in fact version 2. The version 3 is in beta almost a year and a half. So I don't know what's going on with the version 3. But you go to Sublime Text 2, and you're going to download your version. Again, if you're using Mac, you might want to actually stay with the TextMate. If you're using Windows or Linux, you can download the Sublime Text. Okay, and let's see, so you're going to download it, and then you are going to run it. So basically, I have a Sublime Text, and if I just say Sublime Text, it will pop up like this. Okay, and there are a few installation or configuration you want to do. In my case, I've done already. So click View and Show Console. And you are going to, so let me actually show you. So View and Console, show console here. So here, if you are running Sublime Text 2, I want you to copy this, okay, and then press enter. If you're using Sublime Text beta, Sublime Text version 3 and beta, then you want to actually copy this guy, okay. And basically, this is going to let you install other packages. So you are basically installing, you just install the package controller, the plugin, so to speak. Okay, and then you have to restart. So once you restart, then you should be able to see package settings and package control. So basically, what you have done here is to install the package control, plugin to the Sublime Text. There are few shortcut keys. Control P is search for anything. So I can say Control P, and if I say Ruby or blocks to format like this, and it basically search the files that you want. So Control P is the one that you are going to use the most. And Control B, yeah, this is in fact something you're going to actually do a lot in this in today, actually, when we do the Ruby, when we learn the Ruby programming language. Control B is basically executing Ruby programs. So if I want to execute this guy, I say Control B, then it will execute this Ruby program. Control K and B is toggle sidebar. For now I have a sidebar here, right? But if I do not want to have a sidebar, then I can say Control K and Control B. And if I do it again, then it will display the sidebar. Sometimes you do not want to see the sidebar, so in that case you just say Control B and Control K and Control B. Okay, and there are a few other things like a Control L is for selecting a line. Control D is selecting a next item as well. Control Shift D is duplicate the line. Control Shift up, move up a line, and things like that. So for now, the only thing I want you to remember is Control P and Control B for execution of Ruby program, and Control K and Control B. Okay, those are three shortcut keys I want you to remember. All right, so the next thing is I'm gonna actually give you guys to do the labs. Okay, so I just want to actually finish up the explanation of the lab, and then you can create a new file. So file, new file. So I can say file, new file, and here you can write any code of your choice. So I'm gonna just copy this very simple Ruby program. It's like hello world. Now it doesn't know this is a Ruby program because we have not saved this file yet. Okay, so if you save the file, then so you can certainly actually see SSRU. If you say Control Shift P, Control Shift P, then it will actually let you choose what kind of file it is. Okay, so I can say SSRU, something like that, and then I can actually set this file is the Ruby program. So it actually give highlight, assuming this is a Ruby file. Okay, but if you save this file, then into a Ruby file, then it will automatically understand this is a Ruby code. Okay. All right, so now I can actually save this guy. So I'm going to say Control Shift S, file, Control Save As. And I can save this guy, I'm gonna just save it into temp place. I'm gonna just go to labs. Okay, so test LB. So you wanna save it as LB extension. With the LB extension, I save it here. Then I can execute it. Okay, so it will just display hello world. Okay. Now there is actually one more. So this is what I just did. And if somehow it doesn't display as a Ruby program, then you want to make sure that Ruby is in fact selected. Okay, so tools, build system, and Ruby. So I got tools, build system, and build system here, and you can just select the Ruby. But usually it's going to be set as the automatic. It knows that it is a Ruby file. By looking at the file extension. Okay, but if somehow things doesn't work, then you just kind of set as a Ruby file. One more thing I want you to install is what is called the Ruby format package. So basically the way you are going to install any package in Sublime Text is you go to preferences and you go to package control, and then you are going to select install package. Okay, so let me just show you. Go to preferences, package control, and then you say install package here. Okay, and then you type anything you want. So if you are using Sublime Text version 2, then you can say Ruby format. So in my case it's already installed, so it doesn't actually show that as an the candidate. So in your case you're going to say Ruby, and then you're going to see Ruby format. Okay, so you're going to install it. So you click this guy, and once you install it, you are going to see in fact all the packages that have been installed under your home directory, app data, roaming / Sublime Text version 2 and packages. So in my case, I have a Ruby format here, and once you have installed the Ruby format, you should actually see all the packages that are installed on Sublime Text, and that should include Ruby format. So this is basically for formatting. So let me just have this guy's wrong indentation like this, and comment is whatever, and then basically what you do is Control Shift R, then is that Control Shift R? No, Control Alt R. Okay, Control Alt R. So why it didn't work? Control Alt. Oh, I pressed the wrong key combination. Control Alt R. Okay, so it will perform the formatting for you. Okay. All right. So if you are using Mac, it's going to be Super Alt R. Okay. And that is. You can certainly actually explore other Ruby on Rails related packages for Sublime Text. Okay, so that in fact bunch of others. So feel free to explore those things. I'm not going to require you to install any other packages at this point. One another package you might in fact install is the Sublime ELB package, but this is in case you have a free time. we are not going to use it for now. Okay, so it basically lets you basically lets you have shortcut keys when you are writing Ruby code later on. Now, key bindings. If you want to change the key bindings, basically you go to preferences and click key binding and click user. And so when you say keys like this, Control Shift comma and then Command ELB, basically it will let you insert this kind of this is the embedded Ruby the syntax, and it basically lets you in fact there are multiple of those, in fact lets you select the one that you want. Okay, so that's something that I want you to explore if you have time. But for now, as long as you have installed the formatting, the Ruby format, that should be good enough. Okay, so you can move on. For Windows users, by the way, Windows is not probably the most popular Rails development environment. I would say Mac is probably the best. Okay, but I know many of you, including myself, using Windows because most of my students are in fact using Windows. That's the reason I stay with Windows. The Windows command tool is not probably the most efficient or actually powerful shell. So I use what is called the conemu. That's basically what I'm using right now here. Okay, so in this case, I can have a multiple command line as a tab. Okay, so if I want another command line, basically I have having, and if I want in fact have the two of those, so I can have a two command line shell in the single screen. So this is actually useful. Sometimes I want to actually run the Ruby on Rails server, and then I want to actually do something else on the same screen. Okay, so if you're using Windows, consider installation of conemu. Okay, so that is the end of this hands-on lab. So I'm going to give you guys about 10 to 15 minutes for doing exercise 2. Okay,